Hello everyone, welcome to Cosmic Corner. Today we're going to be talking about ancient incense. So I'm Loup, and I have jars of things. Yes, we love jars of things here at Cosmic Corner. So ancient incense is actually really cool. So before you had sticks or cones of incense, you would have loose incense, and that loose incense would be made up of herbs like these that you see before you, or resins like these here. And I'll show you both ways later on in the video, but right now I'm going to start with showing you how we do the herbs. So first you take a little bit of every herb that you'd like to use. For this one, I am doing a calming blend. So that's going to be lavender, yarrow, white sage, which I just put in there, and a little bit of sandalwood powder. Just a bit of that. There you go. All right. So now that we have that in our mortar and pestle, this is our mortar, this is our pestle. So this is like basically an ancient coffee grinder. So what you do is, you can use a coffee grinder too. Just make sure you don't use it for coffee afterwards, obviously. Get one from the thrift store. So you're just gonna start mushing everything together in here, and it's a lot easier if you have two hands, but one hand is holding the camera right now, so obviously that's not gonna happen. But with some movie magic, I'm going to crush all this up and then show you what it looks like crushed in just a bit and what we're going to do with it. Now through movie magic, everything has been crushed to a kind of fine powder. I don't mind leaving some chunks in there. I think that's just fine. But just kind of, I usually do clockwise. So this direction, if I want to add something into this, I'm adding the idea of peace. If you want to get rid of something, like if you're trying to get rid of a negative feeling, you can do counterclockwise, but I tend to do clockwise when I'm grinding something with my, with this, like that. So I'm going to show you how to use this now. So this is our censer here at Cosmic Corner. Obviously, it's well loved. And this is a fresh, shiny new censer made out of brass. They are $8 each on our store. We also, and I'll take you on a little trip, we also have these really pretty censers right here. These are $13 each. And then you can even use one of these guys. These are 20 little cauldrons, and you can put your charcoal in there as well. So there are lots of options. You can even use your mortar and pestle, and here are some of the mortar and pestles that we have in stock right now. And you can even use that. All right, so here's what we're gonna do with that censer. So in this kit that I've put together for everyone, you have two different kinds of loose incense. An incense blend, which is the same one that I just made actually. It's the Peace blend. And in 7 Archangels resin, which I'll show you about in a minute. And a big thing of charcoal. So this has a lot of charcoal discs in it. And they're actually thicker discs, so you can do more with them. This is a small disc that I'm gonna show you with as an example today. So this is charcoal, and this is self-igniting charcoal, which means it's got gunpowder stuff in it. So you'll see that it actually lights itself. Not all charcoal is like this. Some people prefer charcoal that doesn't light itself. And we're trying to get that in stock. We don't have any currently, but you can find that like at hookah shops, the kind that you have to sit on a burner. So now comes the fun part. We get to see how this ancient incense worked. So this is Iggy, the igniting elephant. It's just a lighter, but it looks like an elephant, so we named it that. And we're going to just kind of flambe this for a second until you start to see, ooh, there you go. Can you see it? You see it going? So you'll start to see those sparkles. And you really want to get it hot enough that those sparkles happen all over. There we go. So watch out, because it's gonna go a little bit nuts now. There you go. See? It's like a party. All right. So that means that charcoal is getting super hot. At this point, you're gonna not want to touch the side, because this will also get hot. That's why there's this wooden base here. You can touch the wooden base, don't touch the side of the burner, because it will start to heat up. Okay, we just had a phone call, so I had to answer that really quick, but this is nice and hot. I can feel the heat kind of coming off of it right now. And the next step is to start dropping some of this loose incense on top. There we go. I start with a little bit at a time just to make sure that charcoal's hot enough. And I think you can kind of see some of that smoke coming off of that. Oh, it smells delicious. Don't eat it. It smells really good. And you're starting to see that smoke coming off it. Just like normal incense. And as that charcoal heats up, this will last maybe a couple hours. As that charcoal heats up, you'll get more and more smoke. You'll start to see what you've put on there is starting to get kind of charred and black. At this point, we use something like a spoon or something else that's fireproof. And once everything's blackened, you kind of want to shift it around, shift it off onto the grill underneath here and add a little bit more. So this is actually quite meditative because you're going to have to keep an eye on it. Keep adding a little bit more at a time, a little bit more. And it smells amazing. You know exactly what's in it. You can mix any herbs you like to put on there. I think it's really cool. So the resins work the exact same way that I showed you. So I'm gonna show you up here. Here's our resin bar. And the resin that your kit is gonna come with, if you buy our Ancient Incense kit, is going to have a different resin. Here we go, there it is. The 7 Archangels blend, which smells amazing and it looks like Fruity Pebbles. So this is a protection blend, so that's why I put it in there for this Ancient Incense kit. And you do the same thing with this. You're just going to drop it on top of that charcoal. And I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, now as you can see, I have cleared some of the herbs from the top of that. And I'm gonna grab just a couple pieces of this. It's okay to put your hands in it because no one should be eating this, all right? Definitely do not want to eat the resins. All right, so just go ahead and drop a couple pieces. Remember that charcoal is very hot. And this is fun. It's going to start bubbling and boiling. It smells really, really good. You can hear it crackle and sizzle. Sometimes it takes some time, but I drop about 4 to 5 pieces at a time in there, just so you don't want to overpower the charcoal. Make sure the charcoal still has some room to get some air in there, because the air is what keeps it lit. And that's why we like these censers with the grills, because the air goes underneath the grill and feeds the charcoal from the bottom, so you can stuff it more on top. You see it start to bubble there? I love that. So resin actually comes from a tree. It's basically tree sap, and it forms these little teardrop shapes, and then that's how we sell it. Resin is partially what they put in stick and cone incense as well. So stick and cone incenses use a lot of different things. They'll use honey, they'll use resins like this. Most of them have a base of sandalwood powder, which is that pretty red stuff right here. That's sandalwood powder. That's why I usually put that in my loose incense too. But then they just combine it together. They mash it up really small, combine it together, usually with some igniting powder. And that's like the charcoal, that's the ignition powder. So that's why when you do ancient incense or loose incense, you're going to need another source of heat to warm it up like that. Thank you all so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure. Look at that, it's really going. I always love doing ancient incenses and making my own incense, so I know exactly what's in it. If you like doing that too, head on over to cosmiccornersavannah.com and you can find all of this. You can find our mortar and pestles, our censers, things of swift light charcoal like this, all these herbs for sale, or if you want to get a kit, you can get these kits that have some resin, some already blended powdered herbs, a censer, and your charcoal, which is all you'll need to start your ancient incense journey. Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.